Hey guys, welcome back to part 2 of graphs of piecewise functions. In this video, we're going to talk about evaluating a piecewise function, and it's really just like evaluating functions with function notation that you've done before. The only confusing part, I said I'm going to take the mystery out of it, is when it says 3, forget this 3 right here and this 5. What this is saying, find f of negative 3, then multiply by 3. Find f of 2, then multiply by 5. Add those two things together, right? That's what it's saying to do. Now, the mystery comes in where folks don't know which one to plug it into. They look at this and they say, well, f of negative 3, which one of these do I put it in? All of them? And no, you can't. You have to put that in where it's allowed to go. Think about that now. This says you're 2x plus 8, and it can only be one of these at a time along the number line. It can never be simultaneously two of them. That's impossible. It wouldn't be a function. So it says 2x plus 8 if, think of this as an if, x is less than or equal to negative 2. Negative 3 is less than negative 2, so it goes into that part. We've got to find out what that value is. Then once we find it, we multiply by 3. That's the strategy. Then we got to find out which one does 2 go into. Well, this says if x is greater than negative 2 but less than or equal to 3, well, 2 fits in that category, right? It does. So it goes into this piece. And we'll evaluate it in that piece, then multiply by 5. Then we'll add those two things together. So that's me talking through the strategy. All right? Since we know where they have to go, I'm going to take the little pad out here and I'll show you how to do this. So we want 3 f of negative 3 plus 5 f of 2. Okay? And like I said, we know that negative 3 goes into that piece right there. So I'm going to have 2 times negative 3 plus 8. All right, but I'm going to show you something else too so you can keep track of this. Bring that 3 down. So when you're done with that, you just have a bracket there you need to multiply. So 2x plus 8 would be 2 times negative 3 plus 8. Okay? Plus 5 times, okay, we got to find out what f of 2 is. All right? Remember, we decided it has to go in this middle part, the quadratic piece. So it's x squared minus 3. So I got 5 times 2 squared minus 3. Okay? So I've got 3. Now, we don't need to do too much work here. This is actually going to become negative 6 plus 8, which is 2, right? Plus 5 times 4 minus 3 is 1. So we get 6 plus 5 is 11. So that's how you would evaluate something tricky looking like that. Believe it or not, that's usually on the exam, and that's pretty easy. So in terms of exam style questions, that's a pretty easy one. So let's go in here, and if you're into Desmos, I kept it in there so I can show you how you can do it with Desmos. It's a little bit tricky. So first, you'd have to establish which part of the function. Actually, you kind of don't. You can kind of just see it. Suppose you did light them all up. You put the whole thing in there, right? There's the whole function again. And you said, well, I got to find f of negative 3. Well, the only one that it exists in is this part. Remember how we discovered if you put it on there and slide it, there it is. F of negative 3 is 2. Your output value is 2 there. So that's pretty easy. 3 times 2 is 6. Right? Go to the next part. You got to decide where it lives. We said it lives in the middle part at 2, and you can kind of see that it would. And you come as close as you can get there. And if you can get it to go on it exactly, you got to toy around with it a little bit. There it is. So f of 2 is 1. And that's how you evaluate these functions. Now you can put this in your TI-84 as well, but I don't think I'm going to get into that in this video because I think this is by far the best way to do it. And so you evaluate it with Desmos if you want to, but you still have to write down the basic calculations. So from Desmos, you would come up with this part right here, right? You can say 3 times f of negative 3 plus 5 times f of 2. And that would be a little simpler than all that stuff there. But either way, We got to get it done somehow, okay? Anyway, I hope this video is helpful for you. There's going to be a couple of questions like this, and I'll see you in the final video next. We're going to talk about writing a function given a graph, and that'll be pretty interesting, okay? All right, bye guys for now.